Hello, and welcome to my new moon in Libra tarot card reading for the end of September 2022. It is good to be here in the space with you as we talk about sacred partnerships and connections and inner harmony and equilibrium and balance and all the good Libra, beautiful, energetic things. I am going to pull 3 cards in this first public reading, which will be available on YouTube. And then I will create an extended video, which will be available for an exchange of $11. And that will tune into the wisdom from our guides. So it'll be using other decks and other fun little magic. And then I will create a new moon meditation, which is included with the extended tarot card reading. So all of that is waiting for you in the sign of Libra. Welcome if you are new to this way that I play with energy. I think you're going to have a really good time. We're just going to see what is happening on planet Earth right now. It's a lot. It's intense. There's a lot happening. So let's see what the cards can tell us. Last month, we had quite a beautiful reading. It was all about getting out of the mind, trusting our maturity, and then really flowing into harmony, this inner harmony where the mind, the body, the soul are all working together. I don't know how your last lunar cycle has gone from the last new moon until this one, but if you're like me, there was a lot of mind stuff. There's a little bit of harmony stuff. There's a little growing up maturity stuff. And now here I am, ready to see what's going to happen next. I am going to use the OSHO Zen tarot deck, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. I've been kind of shuffling the deck while we've been talking. All right, we're going to pull for the... Let's do the individual now first. We're going to pull for the individual now, top card. Oh my God, again. It's moved from the collective now to the individual now. We'll look at it. We'll see what new information we can get. The next one is going to be the collective now. Letting go. So individually, we're working on the mind. Collectively, we're letting it go. That's so beautiful. Doesn't that just change the whole definition of the mind? And then the last one is the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. Oh my God, look how good that is. Awareness. Oh my, oh my. You know, it's really cool when you see them together. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know. I'm not as good holding these up to the camera. Okay, so you see how the mind is like chaos and crazy looking, and then there's this like peaceful water, movement, flow, and then it almost looks like here, this mind parts. Can you see that? Not so great. Oh, this one. The mind parts, and then this new energy emerges from this old, like, chaotic energy. Isn't that cool? And what's in between? What's in between? This is the process that the collective is going through. There you go. Reading's done. You got it all. All right, let's do them one by one. Here we go. This is the individual now. What do you notice? So it may look different than it did. Let me try with this hand. It's kind of wobbly. It may look different than how it appeared to you. It kind of looks like that's my face. Isn't that funny? Yeah. I'll do this. It's like a little mask I'm putting on, but not really. So what do you notice about the mind? What jumps out at you as you look at it? Yeah. It's kind of scary, isn't it? It's almost like, is that what we look like inside our minds? Is that what's happening inside of these beautiful human forms? Is this crazy, crazy, crazy? Yeah, usually. Pretty much. Pretty much. Don't you agree? Like if I could climb inside your mind, it may actually look quite a bit like that. And if you could climb in my mind, you might be like, whoa, what are these thoughts that you say to yourself? What is this fire that you're burning inside of your psyche? Yeah, there's a lot happening. It's interesting because it was the collective now before. So why would it shift from collective to individual? It feels kind of like, this is not quite the same, but it feels like, when a flu or a virus moves through a group of people, like a whole bunch of people get sick all at once. And then there's like the stragglers that haven't gotten sick yet, but know that they're going to because the collective group got sick. And so they're going to get the same germs that move through the group. It kind of feels like that. It's like collectively we've had this movement of really intense psyche work, analyzing, trying to grip and hold, and then things just burning and dissolving and destructing. And now it's really falling. It's not falling. It's like distilling down individually to this collective shift first, and now individually, like, what does it mean to us? What does it mean to us to have the mind start to tear apart, tear down some old beliefs? What does that do to me, Viv, to you individually? Like, how is it showing in your journey? And so for some people, it might be, let me see, would that help you? It wouldn't help you. So I'll talk about me, and then you'll have your own interpretation of what it means for you. For me, what this signifies, because this is right now what we're feeling individually. I have been wrestling with this commitment, is probably the best word, to my business, to this work that I do. And for a long time, I've had this, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like, I'm going to keep doing it. It's going to work. And if it doesn't work, I'll go get a job like I've had before and it'll be fine. Even though I have these big visions and these big plans, and I can feel this pull to do something magnificent, and I've created all this amazing content, there's still this little voice in here that's been like, if it doesn't work, you can always get a job somewhere. So don't stress, don't push yourself too far. Don't rely on the money and the abundance too much, because if it doesn't come, you just go do something else. And collectively, this whoosh of energy moved through us in the last cycle, which would have been Virgo, details, commitments, follow through, organization, structure. And collectively, we had this like, what are you actually committed to doing? How are you going to move forward? And what shifted for me from that collective movement over the last literally 2 weeks around the full moon has been this firm, I'm never going to do any other work except this work that I do right now. This is my work. And so whatever that means, for whatever I need to generate, for whatever needs to shift, this is my work. And I'm not putting my time into other things because this is where I'm supposed to be. So individually, I've been burning it down in my mind. All the little hidey places and moments where my head is like, but you could always, that other person. And then things will pop up in my email about some awesome job that sounds so exciting that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. LinkedIn, it kills me. LinkedIn sends me all these things and I'm like, stop. So I have been up here in this like dissolving of the places where I'm not in full alignment with who I know I'm here to be. 100% who I know I'm here to be. Well, what I know in this moment, it's going to keep expanding. And so it's been busy in my mind. It's been very confusing. There's been a lot of unraveling and rewriting some of those pestery little thoughts that sneak in at those odd times that are so hard to resist. Those moments of doubt is usually when the mind is like, ooh, what you could do is go over there. And you're not supposed to be over there. You're supposed to be right here. Or maybe for you, you're right here and you're supposed to be over there. And this is what's going to be happening now, or has been, you're experiencing it right now. And maybe for the next couple of weeks, as we move into this new moon in Libra phase, you with yourself, sacred partnership with yourself, you working with your own mind and shifting the patterns, changing what doesn't serve, letting it go. Letting it go collectively. This is the new moon in Libra, but we'll get to that in a moment. It may feel like you're wrapped like a mummy. You can't move. You're held in place. There's no way it could ever be anything different. And so you're almost stuck in a paralysis of, my mind is trying to burn it down, but my body won't let me go anywhere or change anything. Or my finances have me wrapped up. My health has me stuck in this pattern. There's no way I could do anything except stand here and feel it burning and not be able to change. The individual may feel a little crazy, a little intense. If so, I just made a great podcast episode, so great that I knew it would tie into this one, and it's called Answering the Call of the Unknown. And that podcast episode, Gaia's Love 445, I will put a link to it in the description. That podcast will steady you. It's a nice long time with me. I think it's 45 minutes maybe. But it's this beautiful, let's steady you as your mind tries to keep you in this old grip and transform all at the same time. Because you'll be hearing and feeling and sensing things. You'll be like, why? I don't understand. Because this is happening. It's time. It's time. It's time. How do I know it's time? Because collectively, this energy is moving in. And look at this energy. What do you notice about it? I love how the light is playing with the card. Isn't that perfect? A little sunshine, a little photosynthesis, a little light coming in to help you let go. So I'm going to go super close and see if you can see the water. Can you see the drop of water that's coming off of that top leaf? And going down to the next leaf and then dropping into that bowl at the bottom? Or maybe it's a puddle. Is it a puddle? I think it is. I think it's creating a little ripple as it lands and spreads out through the water. Letting go feels like you're that little drop of water and you have no idea what's going to happen. All you know is you have to let go. And you don't know if you're going to land on the leaf, you're going to land in the water, you're going to hit the mud, you're going to be dissolved by this sunlight that keeps wanting to dry you up. Take over your world, all this light. You have to trust. Collectively, this is what's happening. I made a great podcast last week called 2 weeks ago, called The End of an Energetic. And it was all about this collective shift. You talk about maturity as the individual now. We had the Queen of England who has held a frequency in place for how long? Complete her journey and transition and end this energetic that she's held in place of duty and sacrifice and responsibility and taking care of everybody, taking over everybody, running the show, building individual empire wealth. So much has been locked, anchored in with the frequency of that queen. All due respect, she's lived an incredible life. And now, collectively, we're letting go. We're letting go of the energetic. I mean, the water could represent grief. Grief. When such a massive shift happens in the archetype, in the structures, I mean, the British Empire, in the structures that have run the world for how long? Years? 50, 70? It's been for 70 years. She's held that position. When that shifts, it's ripples. It's rippling everywhere, even if you don't think it is. It is rippling everywhere. And so archetypes are being questioned, our dynamics with our mothers, our grandmothers, the maternal energy within ourselves with those around us, those who mother us, those who we mother. Like all this stuff is now moving, right? Rippling. And so here is this collective, like, are we dropping to here? Are we what is happening? All we know is we're letting go. And that may ripple into your, well, it's not quite the mind. It may ripple into your individual life because it's such a collective energy through individual grief. Like you losing is the wrong word. Someone you love also transitioning because that energetic has sort of sent a signal to souls that maybe have aligned or matched that frequency or are also ready to complete at the same time. And so we may see quite a few transitions of animals, of trees coming down, favorite beloved trees, of iconic symbols. Like I don't even know how all it's going to ripple out, but there will be a letting go of the, I don't know. I don't even know. I just know you're going to feel it. And it may feel more personal to you than it does to others around you. If so, there's a reason, right? Like maybe one of your roles in the collective is to help transmute some of this grief, to help transmute some of the fear of letting go. And when you're immersed in it and doing it, it's sending a huge ripple out that perhaps is doing some of the healing for those around you or those in your larger community. And you don't even know you're doing that. You're letting go because you're in it, you're feeling it, you're overwhelmed by your own experience of grief or letting go. But that powerful process you're in is alchemizing energy for so many people around you. It's mystical, the ways that we all partner and work together, and we don't always see it or comprehend it in our minds. We just see what we see in front of us. And so here I am giving you this message of, if it's intense for you right now, trust it. There's something that's happening in you that is supporting the collective on a deeper level than those around you. Go in, ask for the support you need, feel whatever it is, transmute it. Because at the same time, this is being transmuted. And maybe you're transmuting for 50 individuals around you who don't even know you're doing that because they're just going to work and doing things and living their life, but you're just holding a larger energy aura, a larger, your ripples are more profound perhaps than others who can't hold the space for that right now. If you are feeling this, the meditation I'm going to make next is perfect for you. I already know that. So trust, and buy the extended video, watch it, and then do the meditation, and you will have support. You'll have some really powerful support, not from me, because this is not me, but from the channel and the energy that I move through me that is sending you the transmission that you need, the support that you need. So if you're feeling this, take the next step, do the meditation, and it'll help. It'll support you. If you're in this and you're like, letting go, I can't let go, I'm over here in the fire. I'm in the fire of the mind. If that's you, the meditation will also help you. So here you go. Another little nugget from letting go. Water, green, life, flow, energy. It comes in all different forms. So there's the physical, like you can go outside and put your hands in water. This was literally, I don't even know, 5 minutes of the podcast I talked about this today. You go in the water, you feel the water, and it reminds you that you are made of water, that you are fluid, that you are in flow, that you are in motion. And so the water reminds you, it sparks that awake, and then you have this shift because you were around or immersed in the water. So letting go is there's physical support for that also. The green. So anything that's green like that is absorbing the sunlight. It's bringing it in, and this is chlorophyll, right? Is that right? My scientists remind me, let me know. I believe it is. I have chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll in my fridge that I use when I need like support physically. But this green is sunshine being held in a physical living energy of a plant, a tree, a flower, grass. The green is life. It's life force. So if you need help letting go, if you're stuck here in the mind individually and it's all burning down, go be in the green. Go touch the green. Go lay on the green. Go immerse yourself in the green. Because what's going to happen is that life force, that living energy is going to share that sunshine with you, is going to offer you, the human, the service of being in that green energy. And that supports letting go. The green is holding the droplet, like holding humanity. This is Gaia Earth holding humanity. Like, you can do this. You can totally do this. You're ready, humanity. Actually, Gaia is more like this. Like, you know you can do this. You guys have got this. I know you're all scared. It's going to be okay. Just, you have to let go. How do you let go? You lay here and let me hold you, and you'll feel so safe that you'll just melt. And then you'll remember the joy that sits underneath all the fear. This little drop of water, when it surrenders, it's like, whee, splash into the puddle. Ripple, 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 ripple all over. But until you surrender that last little like, it's like when you're at the top of a water slide and you can see the chute is going to take you all the way down and land you in the big, beautiful pool of water at the bottom. Maybe you can just see the tube itself. You can't even see the water. You're so high up. But you're up there and you have to step into the chute and let go. And then it's like, whee! Then my favorite ones are the ones with the mats that you lay on. I think they still have one up here at Kings Island. You lay down face first with your hands on the handles and your eyes closed really tight. And then everyone jumps in and it's just pure darkness and water splashing. And then you race out the end and you see if you beat your partners on either side. I'm not suggesting that we have to have a race and beat each other, but it is more fun when you can feel it as the adventure and you know that you're not doing it alone. You're not doing it alone. This is like all of humanity as a droplet about to let go. This is the collective now. It's not just you. You're not the only one who's over there going, oh no, poor me. How will I ever surrender? It's all of us collectively going, should we let go? Right? Yes. It's like when a little kid looks at you and they're like, can I? And you're like, of course you can. Of course you can. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. So that is the collective. The meditation will support you in letting go and then trusting what your ripple is going to be. Because the ripple down here at the bottom, actually it almost looks like this, doesn't it? It's like the ripple cracks open. Awareness. So tell me what you see when you see that. I'm going to zoom all the way in so you can see what's right. I'm going to go even a little closer. You can see what's right inside. What's inside there? Yeah, so obviously I see this figure on the outside. And then inside it's like this birthing. I mean, kind of looks very feminine. It's like this little opening is happening. What I love is this feels like a validation of what I've been sharing about the end of an energetic with the queen. This old structured archetype of maternal lineage and power and authority and queendom. Birthing this new kind of unknown neutral. Maybe she's not feminine, is she? She could be feminine or masculine. She could be both. She could be neither. She could just be neutral. She could just be, or she could be a harmonious. Wasn't that the highest possibility for the last month was harmony? And it actually looks a little bit like this. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's a card of a woman, kind of like this little figure. And then there are these two dolphins that are coming from behind. Remember, I kept talking about the hoodie in the meditation. You pull the hoodie up over your head, and then you have this like energetic protection around yourself so that you can be in your cocoon and do all the things. So the figure looked a lot like this. What if the highest possibilities for the last lunar cycle were for us to tune into harmony, to align with maturity and work with the mind and come to this place of inner harmony? And so we've had this shift happen in Virgo energy, and now here we are in Libra, and the cards are saying individually, let's clear this up, let's burn it down, finish it up, let's do some more work here, because collectively, this is what we're all going to be feeling and experiencing, this surrender, this letting go of old, outdated, no longer useful, no longer energetically aligned, because a new awareness is birthing. Something new is forming, and it's coming from that harmony that we tuned into over the last cycle. So the possibilities moving forward are this sort of like a person kind of moving the curtains to the side to kind of step out, or pulling the costume away from their face and their body. Halloween energy. You're kind of stepping out of the costume, and there's this pure frequency, this pure vibration of energy that is you, that is birthing, evolving, starting to come forward. This old version of struggle, you see how the figure is like this, like, I can't. This new one coming through, there's no struggle. It's just, I'm here. I'm here. What shall we do? And this is for the next lunar cycle, now through, what would it be? New moon in Scorpio, right? Is that right? Libra, Scorpio. Be a new moon in Scorpio, which usually would be about like the masks and the intrigue and the, occult and hidden. This is like, no, I'm sharing. Actually, it feels very much connected to sacred partnership. I'm letting go of those aspects of me, the form, the human of me that is constantly battling and struggling like the mind. And I'm in sacred partnership with this calm, centered, powerful, new expression of myself that is ready to come through. I am trusting the awareness that is me to express in a more pure way. Whoa. Whoa. Highest possibilities. So if this is the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, maybe the lowest possibilities if you don't want to work with any of this energy and you're like, nope, not doing it. You're going to stay in the mind burning, like, you're going to hang on to the top of this leaf like, I cannot let go, I cannot let go, I cannot let go. And this awareness won't emerge, won't birth through you. You'll still be zipped up and in this like struggle, the shadowy energy back here. Which is fine. I mean, lots of people probably will. They'll probably stay in that energy, and then the collective energy will move, and next month it'll be something different, and we'll keep moving, and eventually the collective energy will carry everybody to whatever 0 point we're all moving towards. And if you have this information, if you have this awareness, why not work with it? Why not play with it? Look at the card, look it up online, buy the deck, be like, what is this mind thing? I want to understand individually what's happening. And so I'm going to pay attention to what OSHO Zen says about the mind. Or find a card in a deck that's similar with your own language, similar to this mind card. The letting go, right? You're going to be like, I want to understand that more. I'm going to do some research and find out how do I tap into the highest frequency of this collective shift, this letting go, highest potential. What can I do to align with that? Trust what you get. And then when the awareness starts to like nudge at you or pull you, that was everything I talked about in today's podcast, answering the call of the unknown. When you get those, why is this showing up? Why do I keep seeing the same things over and over? Why do these people keep asking me the same question? Why do I hear the same lyrics of the same song? Like, wah! There's a reason. Pay attention. Awareness leads to change. Always. If you have the awareness and you're fully seeing the awareness, then you either choose to keep the same behavior or you choose to change it. So I guess awareness could lead to the same, but awareness leads to choice. Choice. Choose to stay the same, choose to evolve. And either one's perfect. It's whatever you decide to do. But the potential, the highest potential, is to start to come out of that struggle. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to pause this, wrap it up, send it to you on YouTube, and then I will work on the extended one right after this. We're going to pull 3 cards for that, maybe 4, and then I will make a meditation. So thank you for being with me. I wish you such a beautiful new moon in Libra.